Operation Ramp It Up is on a mission to provide mobility to military veterans, their family members, and ultimately anyone who may have a physical disability by installing aluminum wheelchair ramps to their homes. Founder and CEO Greg Schneider hopes to enrich the lives of others, one ramp at a time.
In service to those who have served our country, you, Greg, are supporting disabled veterans one ramp at a time. Love to hear the story of how Operation Ramp It Up got started.
Yes, well, thank you. Operation Ramp It Up got started about 8 years ago in 2014. I'm a UPS employee, and I like to give back to a lot of nonprofits. And at the time, I was giving back to a nonprofit locally that built wheelchair ramps for disabled veterans. So my first event, I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was a deceased veteran's family member. We got to the house and she was just looking out her window. She had like 4 or 5 steps in the back of her house. And she couldn't come or go until she had a ramp or somebody would either carried her or helped her out. And within 2 hours, we had a team of volunteers. We built an aluminum wheelchair ramp for her. And it was like tears of joy because within those 2 hours, we changed her life. You know, we made it such a big difference. She could get in her wheelchair and she could wheel down either on her own or with our help. She could come and go, you know, to her transportation then. And it was so rewarding. We did a couple more locally and I wanted to do more. And the nonprofit I was working with in downtown Cincinnati, strictly stayed in Cincinnati, and they kind of put a limit on the income of some of these veterans. And people were getting turned down, and I don't like to say no to people. So I just started making more connections, and we started building a couple more ramps. But I got some people that were really excited about what we're doing. And next thing you know, we're building a ramp in Seattle, Washington from Ohio, and got some recognition there. And from there, we start doing a couple ramps in New York and in Baltimore, helping more and more people. And I realized that we can help people across the country. So I needed to become a nonprofit. At the time, I wasn't a nonprofit. So with some of my connections, I was able to work with the VFW Foundation in Kansas City, Missouri. They were my nonprofit at the time. I was a fiduciary agent within them. And we start helping more and more people. And next thing you know, a couple of years pass and we're up to 30, 40 ramps, and another year passes. We're about 50 ramps into it. And we're getting too big for them. We're just getting too many people who need our help, and grants are starting to come in. So they pretty much said, hey, you have to become your own nonprofit. And at the time, my wife got involved. My wife, Lisa, got involved. And she has some medical issues. She actually has some stage 4 metastatic cancer. And she's hanging in there. But she knew this was my passion. She knew that this is what I wanted to do when I retire. And through all of her work and support, she became a nonprofit. She turned in all the paperwork without a lawyer. She made it all work. You know, within 6 months, we are our own nonprofit, my wife and I. And our family came aboard. All of my adult children are on our board. And we control Operation Ramp It Up. And with the support of my own company, UPS, and the VFW, we start making more and more partners. And next thing you know, we're in 20 states, 30 states. We're now 5 years into it, 6 years into it. And now moving into today, you know, 8 years into it, we have ramps in 43 states. And actually, I just got a call today in Nebraska. That'll be 44. So we're helping veterans all across the country.
Wow, that is an incredible story. And I love how you just saw a problem, decided to take your own 2 hands and start fixing it, just one ramp at a time. You know, so it's true to your name that you are continuing to ramp it up with more and more ramps being installed every year. So again, how many ramps have you installed in what's the furthest ramp that away that you've installed?
Okay, so total ramps so far from in the last 8 years, we've installed over 160 ramps in 43 different states. And we were actually able to do one in Hawaii about 4 years ago. Somebody needed a ramp ASAP for Christmas. Somebody wanted to get their father home so he could come home from the hospital to be home for Christmas. And logistically, we weren't able to get an aluminum ramp there, but I was able to fund it. And with some of my partners, we were able to build on a wooden ramp so they could get home. But probably the one that really sticks on my mind this year is with my partnership with UPS and with our transportation. We just did actually several ramps in Alaska. We were able to transport ramp in a 747, and we call it brown tailing. We were able to put enough ramp for three veterans in an airplane, fly it from Louisville to Anchorage. Then I had a team in Anchorage take it to my contractor in the local city. And then I traveled up there with a team, and we were able to help 2 and 3 veterans up there in Alaska with our first ramp. And this is something we hope to continue each year. I want to send them ramp, and then we can help more and more people in the state of actually Alaska. So that was it's probably the furthest. But one thing we do also, besides the 160 installs in the 43 states, we recycle ramp. Ramp's very expensive. Aluminum ramp is very expensive. So what we do is we recycle, reuse it. I have partners that actually help also recover the ramp. So unfortunately, if a veteran passes away, the family calls us, they call the VA, they call us saying, hey, you're a nonprofit, would you help with the family? Because they, their father, their loved one, mother, who was a veteran, had this ramp and they really enjoyed it, but they want to pay it forward, they want to pay it back. So the family's like, hey, can you help another veteran? So yes, we pick them up, we store them in different locations, and then we recycle and reuse them. And it really cuts the cost so that we can help more and more veterans across the country.
Wow, I love that paying it forward, and wow, so that everyone gets to participate in supporting one another. So as we know, it is teamwork that makes the dream work.
Yes.
So I can say that Awareness Ties has proudly been a partner of Operation Ramp It Up with our Selfies to Support Veterans campaign that we conducted with Flex Seal. Flex Seal came on board as a sponsor, providing Operation Ramp It Up with a donation of $10,000 to support the work that you're doing. That connection that was made with Flex, so that initial connection has turned into an ongoing relationship. So I'd love just to hear about their continued support for the work that you're doing to serve veterans.
Definitely. And actually, it all started with this right here. I keep one by my desk at all times because I never know when I need to use it. But actually, yes, Phil Swift and the Flex Seal team have just been amazing. And thanks to you, and I actually want to do a shout out to Lisa Bowman, who is my UPS connection that made our ties together, and which has helped so many connections with this across the country. But no, Flex Seal has been amazing. With our program we had back in Memorial Day with the selfies, they were given $5 a selfie, so that we were able to, we actually made $10,000, which helped a couple veterans with ramps. And then the following year, they helped wrap one of my trailers. So I have a nice trailer that has red, white, and blue and has the Flex Seal logo on it, so that I can go around promoting Flex Seal and helping veterans. And we're actually getting ready to do another partnership where we're going to, they're going to send a team to one of my ramp builds, and they want to film it with their employees. And then they want to put it on one of their ads and their commercials, that what they're doing, how they're paying it back, paying it forward to help veterans. So yeah, and one thing I like about it with Flex Seal, it wasn't just like it was a one-time deal. It's an ongoing yearly thing. So actually we'll hopefully be getting another grant here first year and be able to help more and more veterans.
That's incredible. And I love, again, like a large corporation like Flex Seal being able to say, we see you, we hear you, we want to support you, and not just once, but on, and being able to share that with other people to say, hey, look who we're trying to support, and to encourage other large brands to say, hey, step it up. I think it's really awesome. And yes, I will say also, I'm so thankful to Lisa Bowman for making that initial introduction. That has led to all of that. Without that conversation, it just goes to show the difference one person, one conversation can truly make to so many. So, I'd also, I'd like to hear about other partnerships, because you've been working every day, more ramps, more partners too. So I'd love to hear, in particular, the story about the Cincinnati Bengals. What?
Yes, that's so exciting. So Yeah, so one of our sponsors we've had for the last 2 years is we get an NFL grant called Salute to Service in November, and our team is the Cincinnati Bengals. So for the past 2 years, we have either Bengal cheerleaders because of COVID last year, but this year, pretty exciting. We had 8 players come, and they were awesome. They on their off day, they came and they helped an Army veteran, 89-year-old veteran. He has trouble getting in and out of his house. His wife's in a wheelchair with a broken hip. Same scenario I told you about before. She's looking out the window. She can't get down. And with 2-3 hours, along with the Operation Ramp It Up team, I have Cincinnati Bengal NFL players giving up their free time, helping build a ramp. And now they're like, just like everybody else, they can't wait for the next one. This is addicting to people because you see firsthand how you can help a veteran who needs help with their mobility. We're giving back their freedom, their independence, their accessibility. And people can't wait once they do the next one. And it's just so addicting where you can just keep helping people. So they have the Bengals there, and then that's another one. It's ongoing. I'll be getting another grant next year, and I'm going to network off of that. We're going to be recognized on Sunday Night Football coming up here with what we do with Salute to Service. So I'm hoping to get in with maybe some other cities, other NFL teams, so we can do this more and more across the country and help more and more veterans.
That's just incredible. And I love how you speak to the fact that they just can't wait to do another one. It is infectious,
Yes.
And it's just beautiful. Well, here's the thing. We cannot talk about Operation Ramp It Up partnerships without including UPS. You've worked for UPS for 43 years in 1 month.
Yes.
Wow. First of all, your dedication has been reciprocated, as UPS has been a proud sponsor of Operation Ramp It Up. I'd love just to hear the story here. What a beautiful, beautiful relationship.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's a great company that I work for. It's been very, provided for my family, but they have the support. I mean, James Casey, our founder, in 1907, has a saying: "Determined people working together can accomplish everything." Accomplish anything. Determined people working together can accomplish anything. And that's exactly what we're doing. This is not a Greg Schneider, Lisa Bowman, Flex Seal. It's so many partners, the VFW veterans, family members, so many people across the country are making this work. And they have UPS, the company I work for, to be able to make a phone call, a Zoom call, an email, and get somebody in Alaska to help pick up a ramp, to call somebody in Hawaii. So UPS has been so amazing since day one. We've had close to 300 projects together, if you count the installs and the recycle, because UPS is doing most of my recycles also. So I can call a team in Maryland, Maine, wherever, and they will pick up the ramp, and then they'll transport the ramp to a location where I can store it until I can reuse it. So they're not only volunteering, recycling, transporting it, and then storing it for us. It's just remarkable. And then they have the support of the corporate UPS. I have UPS flying, one of our planes to one of our sites. I have the CEO. I have a lot of the board of directors are doing. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a ramp in Atlanta 1st of November with a couple of the board members. So to have their support, it just, it's amazing. Just to, Flex Seal, UPS, NFL, there's a lot of big players out there helping us out so that we can continue to help veterans across the country.
It's just really inspiring just to have people want to get hands-on and be a part of all of this. I'd like to switch gears as we close out this conversation on you, Greg. So many people have benefited from your work and the work of those that you work with and partner with. But for you personally, Greg, how have you personally been rewarded most by all of this work?
I actually just had this conversation with somebody in Vermont today when I decided to do her ramp. She didn't meet all the qualifications, but just her story alone is rewarding to myself. I'm able to help somebody, thousands of miles from where I live or hundreds of miles from where I live, somebody who's crying on my shoulder, on an application or on the phone, email, where they have a loved one that can't come and go or can't come home from the hospital until they get a ramp, they get their mobility back. And every one of my ramps that I've been on, I always ask the family, they want to know what they can do. I said, well, of course you can always make a donation, but I'm not looking for that. What you can do is you can use the ramp for the very first time. Let myself and all the volunteers see you using the ramp for the first time. Make sure we put it in safely, but use the ramp. Let us video it so that we can use that video and show more people across the country. And sometimes I just sit back and look at that video, when it's a double amputee veteran from, Agent Orange in Vietnam, or, a 30-year-old from one of the local wars, or just age, or somebody in hospice needs to get home soon, just to be able to get them from point A to point B, where they're not going to fall anymore. They're not going to break a hip. They don't need assistance sometimes. They can get in and out of the house. And we're helping veterans, but we decided we're helping as many people as we can now. We open it up to where we're helping people and children with any type of mobility issues. So, to be helping a blind boy in Louisville come out of his house where he can just hold onto the ramp now, or a girl with spina bifida who can't come out unless her parents carry her. Now she can come in and out of the home. I just sit back and I see this, and I get tears in my eyes, and goosebumps, just that we're able to make a difference. But that's what it means to me. But I just want to clarify something. This is something I started, and there's so many partners. I never want anything to be, I want it to be everybody. It's like I said before, determined people working together. And that's what it is. It's so many partners, family, friends, making this all work. And it's great. I just won the James Casey Award with UPS. It's great to say I won that. But with that, it's good because now I have more funding to help more and more people. And I just received the award from George W. Bush, Appointed Light Award. That's all great, but with that, my connections, it can help more and more people. Congressman Winstrup in Ohio just put me on a congressional report in front of Congress. But what helps with me with that is now I have congressmen across the country and people in government can see what we're doing with veterans, and hopefully, they might want me to help in their district or their state. So yes, that individual award, it's kind of neat to have, but I like it because you can help more and more people with all that. But I do just want to reiterate, it's so many people making this work. I just sit and logistically make it happen. But I just want to everybody who's helping me. It's just amazing, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Well, and we can't thank you enough. Just to be part, I can speak on behalf of Lisa, on behalf of Jack and myself and all of Awareness Ties, how proud we are. Just to be part of your story. Anyone who has the opportunity to serve with you, what an opportunity you give to people to give to others through their service and through their support. So thank you for giving us this vehicle, this mobility, to mobilize and to do so much for so many. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for helping all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you. I appreciate it.